Welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. Hey, Moose Country, welcome, welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. Hey, Moose Country, welcome, welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. Hey, Moose Country, welcome, welcome. 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 Hey, Moose Country, welcome. 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 Hey, Moose Country, welcome. Welcome. Hey, Moose Country, welcome. Welcome. Hey, Moose Country, Welcome. 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 Hey, Moose Country, welcome.
What is up, Moose fam? All right, so Game 7 in a series that nobody gave us a shot of even winning one. Everybody thought sweep. You heard a couple people saying, maybe they'll let, maybe Steinman will win them one and steal them one. And no, man, Game friggin' 7 for this young Mooseheads team. I couldn't be prouder, not only of the team, but of the coaching staff. They have gone above and beyond this season with this young crew. And, win or lose tonight, you guys wowed us all. Great job. Hold your heads up high. And I'm not counting you out by no means. I'm just saying, if tonight doesn't go the way we think it's going to go, hold your heads high because you guys played an amazing season and even better postseason. Anyways, what's up, everybody? I got to say, I love that while I'm getting everything ready, you guys have your own little chat in the chat section, just shooting it with each other. I absolutely love that. I think it's awesome. So let's break down the game. Was it a game? Our boys didn't show up, that's for sure. It wasn't the same hockey we've seen in Game 5. It was a completely different team out there. They did not bring it. And I'm not saying anything they don't know. They know they didn't bring it. I hope today they go out there and they're hungry and they do what they're supposed to do, and they learn from their mistakes last night and they really bring it to Drummondville. Because when they're playing at their A game, they can't be beat. They've proven that. They've beaten bigger teams when they show up to play. When they're hitting, they're winning straight up. So we will go into it a bit. Oh God, I don't like how many red goals I see there. It was 6-0. That's all I'm gonna say. We had goals coming from Adam Cavalin, Jesse Alicia, Sam Oliver, Simon Pierre Bernet, Alicia again, and then Sam Oliver again. Woodworth had 4 assists on that game, and I gotta say it was a cleaner game from them. We were a little dirty that game, I'd say. There was a bunch of penalties that maybe were needless. We didn't need to take them, but Woodworth was on his best behavior. I didn't see anything off color from him. So that's something. That's saying something. By no means am I taking back my opinion on him, but it's easy to play clean when you're winning the game, right? It's when they're losing that I find they're looking for the edge. But he played great. He had 4 apples on the night. Good for him. Gauthier picked up an assist or 2 actually. Their top line it's a hard line to defend against, and when we're leaving people in the pocket wide open, they're going to score. Whether it's Simon or Circa, if we're leaving them wide open, they're going to score. We got to cover them, man. Get cover. We at one point we were 4-1 man, and one of their boys, I believe it was Oliver, was just sitting in front of the net. They fed him a pass, and there was nobody near him for 20 feet. That type of stuff, you can't win hockey games like that. You just can't. Defensively, we were not sound. Offensively, we were off. And we really got to bring the heat tonight if we want to upset these guys and go to the second round. I'm not ready for hockey to be over. I'm not. It's a long break when you don't have playoffs. Last year sucked. being out first round. I don't want that. We got a little bit more hockey this season, as opposed to last, but we need to, exactly, Paul. We need to stay out of the box. We were doing really good at walking away from skating away from confrontation. But I mean, I will say I didn't agree with a few calls. I don't think I agreed with the Mosier roughing. I believe that was after play, and it was like a scrum, like it always is. And they picked Mosier and another guy out of the crew. Like, Mosier doesn't get penalties. He's a good boy. Carrier was in the box 3 or 4 times. Walters was in there at least twice. Santini was in there twice. we gotta stay out of that. But you know who wasn't in the box though? McPhee. McPhee didn't spend any time in the box, which is surprising in a game like that. Yes, Carrier needs to settle down. He's an emotional player, and I love it about him. He's one of my favorite players on the team. He's absolutely incredible. We talked after the after Game 5, and they were all raring to go. So I don't know if it was the flight or what the case may be. But we did not show up last night. We need to show up tonight. Tonight's do or die. What are we predicted tonight? Are we predicting a win tonight, guys? Let me know in the chat. I don't think I have to get too much to the comments because I think they're all pretty much talking to each other. Running it with using words. Thanks for that. Whoever you are, you already ruined it with using that S. Oh. Makes you mean shut out. Colin says, I took a few notes on my thoughts during the game yesterday. Okay, let's hear them, man. Kat says, emotional players always make the game exciting to me. 100%, I agree. Usually some of my favorite players. Same here. I mean, we absolutely love Walters in my house. We love McPhee. We love Carrier. Schultz, we love Schultz for other reasons, but I agree. The feisty players, the spicy players, are the ones we tend to like as well. He reminds me of Zach, always taking penalties at the worst time. Yeah, I gotta tell you, like Zach was a special breed, though. In playoff hockey, he was a different person completely. I miss that kid. What else do we have here for chat? 1-0 Moose Kilfoyle nets the winner. Steiny shutout if goalies are shaky 4-3. All right, this is Cold Soup says that we are going to win 4-3. I hope so. I think that's a very fair goal, and I think they can do it. And maybe are you talking about Game 5? Like, because this sounds like Game 5 with the Kilfoyle nets the winner. Anyway, let's go back down. We got Go McPhee. Big win tonight, guys, says Kevin. Kevin, I'm sorry my wife's being mean to you in the chat, by the way. She's a bit of a bully in here with you. Not with everybody else, just with you. You must get under her skin a little bit, bud. Maybe she likes you. Kat says we need to score in the first period. It doesn't have to be the first goal, but we need a goal in the first. I think we can do it if we come out playing like we won it. 100%. Like I said, if we're hitting, we're winning. Every time we have the physical game going, we end up doing amazing. If we're not hitting, we're not finishing our checks, we're just bumping them. It didn't look like they wanted to play last night. Like I said, it could have been the fact that they weren't in their own beds, whatever the case may be. We also, again, not that it's an excuse, but it's a young team. This is their biggest playoffs ever. Where they're playing tough contending team, and they're not sleeping in their own beds. Like they're not used to this travel. It could be any number of reasons, but we can all agree that they didn't show up, and they need to show up tonight. Says it wasn't being mean. You didn't say hi to Kevin. That's mean. Colin says someone can point me in the right direction on this, but I have never seen a ref go back and review a non-called penalty and upgrade it to a double minor high sticking. So if there's blood, so if they called a high sticking and they're like, no, we have blood, the ref goes over and sees the blood, they will review it and upgrade it to a double minor. It just depends on if there's blood or not. I've seen people biting their lip trying to get a call for high sticking for a double minor. Chris says, play 60-minute full game. That's what we need to do, 100%. We do that, we're victorious. I honestly don't think there's many teams that can beat us if we're playing a full 60. Do I think we have the team to win it all? No, but I definitely think we have the team to move into the second round. I will say this, that if we don't make it into the second round, I see the Voltageers out within 5 at the most. If they're not swept by the next team, they're out in 5. They're not. This isn't their year. They had a great team last year. They won it all, but they don't have it in them this year. It's crazy because they were one of the top teams this year in regular season, but they don't have it. It's either going to be the Olympique or Moncton who take it this year. Kat says, and shoot on the net and not at the logo. Those first 2 home games, it was like we couldn't buy a goal. 100%. But, I mean, those first 2 home games, you didn't see any passing. It was easy lobs on net, just try to get shots on net. And I didn't see much team play. But that goes along with, again, I don't like judging the coaching because they've done such an incredible job. But I don't like the reward system of if you get a goal last night, you'll have top line minutes the following night. It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make for team play. It makes for selfish play, and that's I see that. I see a lot of selfish play on this team when one man's open back door, they're shooting at the chest of the goalie instead of passing it. And maybe that's just in my head. Maybe it's not real, but just my opinion. I want to see more team play. When we're playing as a team, we're hitting, we're passing, we do better. Kevin says, you should have watched Party on here. You have a watch party? I can't. I wish I could, but I'm not allowed to stream the CHL app because it's a subscription. I can get in trouble for that. I'd love to do that, though. I actually reached out to the CHL last year, but I never received word back on whether or not I can do that. Everybody didn't say neither. Lovely wife did, though. I don't think it's legal for. No, I don't. I'm not. It's not legal. What about me? Didn't get a hello. I got a lovely wife. So these are just. I love the back and forth in the chat. I absolutely love it. Colin says the boys need to be more disciplined late. Don't let the Volts drag us into their chippy style. The problem is it wasn't late. It really wasn't. First period, 18-13. Second period, 5:58. Second period, 5:58. Second period, 14:41. Second period, 19:53. And then it goes on from there to the third period. It wasn't late. They were frustrated and, they were making mistakes. So we just got to be more mindful about that. It was the whole game. It was from start to finish. They just weren't on their game. Agreed. This won't be the Volts year. No, it's definitely not going to be the Volts year. Thanks, Kat. Collins said, well, I mean, maybe not on paper. Not sure what that means. Colin Carroll, looking at the statistics, Carrier has 22 PIMs. Next closest to him is Schultz with 6. Wow. I'll have to check that out. I didn't notice that. That's crazy. Carrier needs to be extremely careful because the target is on his back for the stripes and the Volts. Yeah. Wow. I didn't notice that. I'll have to take a look at that. 6. That's a huge, huge difference. Chris says, I should join in and give Colin someone to chat with. Go ahead, bud. The link for the Zoom call is on the Facebook page. Christopher Edwards, the ref were not good at all. I think the refs were pretty fair. We were really chippy last night. Like I said, we were frustrated. We had double the amount of penalties they did. We just can't play like that. You can't go to somebody else's barn and play that chippy and expect not to be thrown in the penalty box. It's just the way it is. You got to play a clean game. Colin Carroll says this round for the Pims. Go to Twitch. I don't like Twitch. Stream UFC on that and there all the time. Oh, I see what you mean. Stream on. I don't. I really don't want to stream it. I don't want to have that reputation of the guy who is, ripping off the CHL. Hey, Julian, how you doing? Lots of Cats fans will be watching tonight and cheering for the Moose to win. Good luck tonight. Thanks, man. You're the best. See, Cat fans, man, you gotta love them. Gotta love them. Christopher Edwards, the boys need to use their body tonight 1,000,000%. We need to finish checks. What we need to do is when we're skating up. So again, I come from a fighting background, and I don't punch the target in front of me. I punch the target that's on the other side of what's in front of me. They need to do that while they're hitting. They need to hit the boards. If I'm skating up to somebody, I'm trying to hit the boards on the other side of that person. You don't just bump them. You got to go through them. And that's finishing a check. Melissa says, woohoo, thanks, Julian. Send all your good vibes through the TV. Bryden Myra, you might have woke up the bear. You might have woken up the bear. Who's the bear? I like bears. They're cute. Love you, Colin. Love you too, Susan. Love you, Susan. Kevin. Just once, bud. All right. How you doing, Chris?
Doing all right. Getting over being sick a little bit, but
yeah.
But other than that, good.
What are your thoughts on tonight's game?
If we play 60 minutes, we can do our thing where you can beat them. But
yeah,
looking at last night's game, losing 6-0, can we?
You know what though? Even if it was a 1-0 game, we didn't play. Even if the shots were, 23 to 40 or something like that, we didn't play. We did not show up. That's the issue with last night. I don't think we outplayed. We were outplayed. I think we outplayed ourselves.
That's what it is most of the time anyways, I think. Yeah,
I think so too. Hey, Ches, how you doing, man? Steinman, holy goalie. Yeah, he better be on point tonight, buddy. Nothing McPhee can't handle. I mean, what do you think of the penalties last night? Do you think it was a fair game or what?
From what I seen from it, I'm only because I don't watch them at all when they're away, so I can go through the Q site. Looked pretty good, even for calls and everything.
Yeah, we had double the amount of penalties, like exactly. I think they had 4 to our 8.
Yeah, something like that. I think.
But we, we were cross-checking after the play, and we were in the mix a lot, and we should have just walked away from it. But you could tell they were frustrated. They were frustrating us, and
But that's our thing a lot too. Is secondary penalties of us not walking away and keeping their mouth shut too.
100%. The only penalty that we should have had last night was the high sticking, because they're not intentional, right? So if you get the high sticking, you get the high sticking. But the roughing's got to stop. The after the play cross checking, that's not classy hockey. I mean, I get that you're frustrated and such. Sam, I already mentioned Woodward's points. I said I think he had 4.
Yeah, I think it was like 4 assists, 5 assists. I think something like that.
And he played a clean game last night. Good for him. I'm assuming Sam is a fan and he's in here just to gloat or try to be a bit of a troll. But that's okay, Sam. We welcome you. Moose Country welcomes everybody. I love the boys, and Sean is my buddy. Yes, sir. Good question. How many do you predict? 3 minutes. I'm not really sure what that means. But yeah. Who do you? I think we're starting Steinman. Of course, we have to.
Oh, for sure.
What do you think mentality he has going into this game?
Well, you got to think about it too. This could be his last game in the queue too. So that plays a big difference on what he's thinking too.
Yeah, 100%. He's got a
same with Brady and McPhee.
Yep.
This is it.
And I don't think they want it to end. They don't want it to end tonight.
Oh no.
How you doing, Jesse? Kat says it's almost never a fairly called game for us, but we can overcome. We've beaten the refs along with the teams before. That's true, 100%. Kevin, we love trolls. Question, when has he ever been a dirty player? Hey, Bryden. Why don't you go look the video I made? I zoomed in. It was very, very cut and dry that he took a dive holding his face and there's no contact to his face. I'm not going to get into that. We're talking about Game 6 here. If you're a Woodworth fan or a Volts fan, move along. It's, if you want to comment something of substance, stay here. We'd love to have you. If you're just here to create trouble and drama, join your friends from the other night and, do your thing. Good question. Another Ryan must be another flood in, guys. You're just giving me views. It's all good. Jesse Searle, I'm nervous for Game 7 tonight. I don't want this to be the last game for Steiny, Braden, and Schulte. 100%, man. They're going to be extremely missed. I mean, Schulte's been a staple to the community. Same with McPhee. An absolute staple to the community. Fan favorites from day one. And they're hard workers. You're going to miss that in your locker room. You're going to miss that in the community. And you're going to miss that on the score sheet. They brought a lot to the table.
Yeah, and some guys like Schulte and stuff, they're not easily replaced neither.
No, 100% not. Like I said, it's easier to replace a skilled guy than it is to replace somebody who is good for the team in the locker room. Yeah. Somebody who's good for the team in the locker room will help them do better. Somebody like McPhee who makes it hard to practice against, those are the teammates that you're going to miss. The ones who are on you and making you work for every... Yeah,
the guys with a little bit of character and stuff. Yeah, they're hard to find.
1,000,000%, man. And, I'm really hoping that we get McPhee's brother here in the draft.
Yeah, from what I've seen of his stats, I've been looking at him. He looks like he could be pretty good, too.
Yeah, he's a skilled player. He's like McPhee has joked and said he's a more skilled player than him. McPhee's a hard worker, and he said his brother's just as hard working, but he's more skilled. So I'm very pumped to see him and hoping he's wearing the red and green next year for sure.
And if you, in the non-point, look at Kelly Bink compared to his little brother, right?
Yeah. 100%.
Little brother is far more skilled than Kelly ever would be, and I'm sure Kelly would admit it too.
Kelly had the biggest heart, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, he played with a really big heart, 100%.
Well, Kelly's kind of like McPhee.
Yep.
Same type of character guy.
Yep.
100%.
Yep. Good locker room guy, 100%.
If he scored, it was a miracle. You weren't expecting it out of him. That's not what his role was.
You know what, though? That's how I felt about McPhee before this season. But this season, he shocked everybody. He's got his most points this season. He's got the most wraparound attempts in the queue.
All intents and purposes was a career year for him, yeah.
McPhee with hands says...
Because it's nothing bad about him, but honestly, when we kept him as 20, I'm like, what are we doing? Honestly.
So not me. I've always believed that McPhee style hockey is needed on a team. He gets... But
I see why they did it, but it's one of them things like, okay, he's kind of been a fourth line all time. Like, okay, can we not get a better 20? But in the end, it turned out all right.
Well, yeah, so the thing with McPhee is he offers... He plays this mental warfare so good. Yeah. He's not cheap. He's not a cheap player. He's not out there trying to injure people or he's not taking dives like some other players we know. He's just, gets on your nerves. He's relentless.
Oh, exactly.
And players like that are needed. I mean, that's one of your core core players, right? Like.
And if you look at the current guys, I think somebody, McNabb or something, is going to be the next guy to be the best, like him.
No.
I really do.
Walters, 1,000,000%. Melissa said it there in the chat.
Yeah, Walters, McNabb. McNabb could be too, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few of them that could be the next best.
Walters is already just as hated as McPhee in the league by the rest of the players. Now that's right out of McPhee's mouth. When he came on the podcast, he said Walters is easily becoming more hated than he is.
It's good though.
Yeah, and I love it. I love that play. And the cool thing about Walters is he comes from good stock. His family are incredible people, nice people to talk to at the rink. He was
a former Mac too, wasn't he?
He is. Yeah, he won last year with the Max.
That's what I thought. I thought that's where he came from.
Yeah, he won last year with the Max in the U18 championship or whatever it was. It's hard to win when you can't win face-offs. That is a big issue right now. Thanks, Aaron. Agreed. You have to have possession in order to win. It's one of the many things that plagued us last night. McPhee is a great player, and Schultz is a great captain. But I think Carrier or Quinn will be the next captain. I personally think it's going to be Kilfoyle.
Yeah.
I think we're going to put all of our eggs in Kilfoyle's basket. I think he's going to be the next captain. Do I agree with it? I don't know. I mean, I didn't. If you would have asked me last year, I would have said absolutely not. He shouldn't even have an A. But after speaking to him this year and some of the players, he's really coming to his own. He's a real team guy. He's gotten more talkative, and you can see on the ice, he's a real leader. Go Fulls. Trolls are just coming in droves right now. Thanks, Nolan, for the view, bud. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought last year that he would have been an assistant captain, but I think he's great for the team, and I think that he could be a good captain next year, or at least a viable option.
Oh yeah, you look at this. We got quite a few options for once.
Yeah, 100%. Why is my dog going off, hon? Why is the dog barking so much? I think even Quinn, Sean. Sometimes my dog comes upstairs and he gets stuck on the stairs because he's a huge American bull, but he's terrified of the cats. They'll sit on the stairs and he won't pass, so he'll just start barking at them. Funny. I could see Quinn being, I mean, it really depends. He's kind of new. I personally wouldn't like to see Quinn, but I don't know what he's like in the locker room, and I haven't talked to him, so I don't know personally.
Yeah, that's the thing with Quinn. He's too new, kind of. How is he behind the scenes?
Yeah, and I don't know him, right? Apparently, he took right to Moose Country. He took right to the team. He's a good teammate. So, yeah.
Well, he is from here and grew up with them too when he was a kid.
Yeah.
So it would make a little bit of sense too.
Yeah, him and Philly played together.
Okay, right?
Him and Philly played together.
Yeah.
Kilfoyle needs support in order to get the best out of him. Similar to Dumais, says Paul. Yeah, he needs to be on a good line, 100%. I'm coming, get him. I'm not sure why Aaron said that. He went upstairs and the kitten was at the bottom, so that's exactly what it was. My dog went upstairs and got scared by the cat. Kenny will be captain, Sean, Quinn, and will be assistant captains. But we got to remember, Philly is still going to be on the team next year, and he's an assistant this year, so he's a good viable option for captaincy too. And I don't know how he is in the locker room.
That's what I mean. Like the people we got, Philly, Sean, Kennedy, Keller, we got the options for captain that coming into this year we really didn't have. No. It was Schultz or bust, really.
Schultz should have been the captain last year, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I think he should have been captain last year and this year.
I think Jake Furlong, captain last year, was the biggest mistake we had.
Yeah.
He wasn't captain material at all.
But again, we can blame Midgley for that. You know, Midgley knew him quite well. They played together, so that's kind of why. Kim says, I'm pretty sure the Volts didn't think they would be playing a Game 7 against a team like us. No, 100%. We're apparently we're the first team in the queue, first 16th place seed in the queue. I'm not sure if that's right, though, because I heard yesterday that we were 15th in the league. So I'll check that fact before I spit that record. What kind of funny farm do you run? You have no idea. Melissa says the zoo. Sounds like it. Trevor says, need to play physical and get lots of shots. 100%. I'm not even so much worried about the shots. We always trail in shots. I'm okay with that. But we definitely need to play a more physical game. We're letting them run right over us. And like I said, when we're hitting, we're winning. When we're physical on the forecheck, we're winning. You know, we need to keep putting bodies on body and make those shots count, says Kat. Low shots, rebound control isn't that great. Again, 100%.
Exactly.
Our rebounds are typically going right to the opposition. And you know that's a goalie that's a technique on from Steinman's aspect. You know, the certain angle you have at your. I'm not going to tell him to be a goalie because I've never done it in my life. I only know from what I watch on documentaries. Aaron says, I mean, we need shots as much as winning face-offs. Yeah, Yeah, 100%. No getting on those rebounds and being in position. You can't get us far. Aaron also says, and we don't seem to get those, so hopefully today changes. Agreed. Jesse, who do you think our goalies will be next year? I think it will be Circa and Magid. I think it's going to be Milner and Circa. What do you think, Chris?
I don't know.
No?
I'm really not sure. I'm not even 100 on Circa, really, from what I've seen.
You know, he's a good goalie, and I've heard
But
nothing.
he is
but
only
things.
16 on top of it. So
Yeah. I've heard nothing but great things from the staff about him, and you know, we'll have to see what the future takes for us. But we definitely need a 20-year-old goalie next year just to help in leading Circa.
Either that or a 19-year-old vet. Yeah, we do need a vet for him. There's no way
100%.
you're going with two kids.
No, we can't lead with Circa. That's I don't even think that's true Moosehead fashion. I don't think we've ever ran with 17 and a 16-year-old.
I think we have maybe once, but it's because of who the goaltender was.
I think you're thinking of when we had Fukali and he was 19.
No, even before then. I think we had one before then, I think.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I've been a fan long enough, but hey, I could be wrong. You never know.
I love to see Sammy's come up. 100%. Magid is probably one of my favorite prospect goalies I've seen. I think he is an absolute stud in the net, and I'd love to see him don the Mooseheads goalie or Mooseheads gear once again. I'm a fan of Magid, a big fan of Magid. And
the thing is, the situation right now is one of the better situations to be in. That we actually got enough prospects and goaltender to go. Okay, what are we doing?
yeah, I mean, we still have St. Ange. He's still on our.
Yeah, exactly. We got St. Ange, that was
rights.
good. Magid,
Yep.
Circa,
Yep.
that's three good kids.
Fontaine.
Yeah, Fontaine's still there too. Yeah.
Yep.
So you look at in this franchise, we usually don't have that.
Yeah, I think we have 6 goalies that are. What the hell was that?
We normally don't have
It's my
like
son.
a goaltender in the wings that we're like, okay, he can come help us in a year or two. We normally don't have that.
No, we have a bunch sitting idle that we could use. Christopher Edwards, we will have a better team next year because Caleb is going to be with us. Here's hoping, man. Hopefully he's with us either this year or next year or the year after. I could easily see a scenario where we pick up a strong goalie from another team, a 20-year-old with experience. Yeah, 100%. There's no saying we wouldn't there, John. By the way, great job, John, in announcing and DJing for the U18 AA Championship weekend at Cole Harbor Place. It was a good show. Me and my wife had a good time. Good point, John. At this point, we don't have any 20-year-olds next year. Not a single one. I think we have 1 or 2 19-year-olds, and that's the oldest. Jesse says, Magid is a great goalie. I was a big fan of him at camp. I thought he did really well. Great job. 100%.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Time will tell. I don't know what we're going to do with goalies. My biggest concern is getting through tonight. And you know what? If we only make it through this round, I just want to upset. I want people to say, wow, man, that Moosehead team is going to be spectacular the next couple of years.
Yeah, no emphasis for goaltending prospects. We're in a situation where we could trade one, get something of value somewhere else too.
Yep, 100%. Thomas,
Because we got 3 of them in the system, so we can use one, trade for that 20-year-old defenseman or something.
Yeah.
That we need.
I'll tell you, if we're talking about LaPlante, the only LaPlante I want to see on the ice for us, I can't even remember his first name, but he was a forward and he was at camp for 2 years, and both years he
Matthias.
fought. What was his name?
Matthias.
What an exceptional player. I absolutely love LaPlante. I wish we had him on the team this year. He was very LaRue-esque.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You get some good kids in this system. If you actually go and watch like Cole Harbor and the U18s and stuff, there's some very good kids that are coming up to go in the queue, whether it's for the Mooseheads, Moncton, any of the other teams. There's some very good kids.
100%. And what was I was going to say something. I completely lost my my train of thought. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Credit to Cam Russell. You know, him and his scouts are out there picking the cream of the crop to come here. You know, and then we get to pick from other teams' cream of the crop. You know, like Wildcats with Denoyer 1 and Denoyer 2, right there, Adam. He's not gonna like that comment. Scott Connor, I'm not sure why, but Chris comes out a lot louder than Colin. So let me know if that changed. I adjusted his volume and I kept mine the same. Paul says, "Hi, Wildcast. If you don't know, if you've been hiding under a rock somewheres, Wildcast Podcast is a YouTube channel and Instagram channel that covers the Moncton Wildcats, and it's an exceptional program. Go check it out, because keep in mind, they're winning with half of our Mooseheads. So check them out.
Just say, isn't there running joke around that it's the Moncton Mooseheads technically?
Moncton Mooseheads. Well, to be fair, they only have, I think, 4 of us, and one of them's not playing. But you know, the 4 that they have is an incredible forward, an incredible defenseman, and an incredible goalie. Right.
The 3 of them are the top ends of the team, though.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. But they keep in mind they did well at trade deadline too. They picked up Gill. Gill's absolutely lights out for them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I just, you know, I really hope they come out on top over the Oceanics, but that's going to be an extremely fun series to watch when it happens. I'm assuming.
Oh yeah. Memorial Cup overall is going to be crazy, especially if it's like London out of Ontario and stuff.
London's been incredible. London's been absolutely insane this year. I mean, they are every year, but this year they've been really good. Winning is fun, says Julian. I'll let you know tonight how fun it is there, bud. But that's it for me, guys. Listen, Chris, thanks for joining me, man. Appreciate you every time. The rest of you, I hope you're all healthy, safe, and happy out there. And as always, go Moose, go.